George Marshall, the only five-star general in American history to receive the Nobel Peace Prize, and the sole individual to have served as the Army Chief of Staff, Secretary of State, and Secretary of Defense, lived a life spanning 2 world wars and the Cold War. From an obscure military cadet to a decision-maker shaping the global landscape, each of his choices turned the gears of history. Born into an ordinary family in Pennsylvania in 1880, young Marshall was no prodigy. His brother asserted that he would disgrace the family in the Virginia Military Institute entrance exam. The bayonet wound on his buttocks during training didn't crush him. Instead, it forged a silent, tenacious character. At graduation, he stood at the front of the line with the highest cadet rank, first captain, but ranked only 15th in his class. In 1902, at age 22, Marshall and his newlywed wife set foot on a tropical island. In combat, his tactical manual, Infantry in Battle, became a must-read for World War II officers. In 1917, at 37, Marshall first stepped onto the European battlefield. On the eve of the Cantigny battle, he ventured alone into no man's land to scout the terrain. When enemy fire rained down, he crawled 2 kilometers to bring back critical intelligence, earning him the Silver Star. Fate's turning point came on September 1, 1939, when 59-year-old Marshall was appointed Army Chief of Staff amid a crisis. Facing a feeble U.S. military with only 180,000 troops, he openly rebuked President Roosevelt at a White House meeting. "We can't scare off the enemy with paper airplanes." 3 years later, he successfully expanded the U.S. military to 8.3 million, personally selecting generals like Eisenhower and Patton. On the eve of the Normandy landings, Marshall drew 7 arrows on the strategic map, each pointing to the enemy's headquarters. Post-war, Marshall's European recovery program left a profound mark on history. Little known is his fierce dispute with Truman over Middle East issues. "If I were a voter, I wouldn't cast a single vote for you." In 1950, at age 70, Marshall donned his uniform again. When MacArthur openly defied the president's orders, he worked continuously for 32 hours at the Pentagon, finally convincing the hesitant Joint Chiefs of Staff the military must obey the elected government. In the deep autumn of 1959, Marshall peacefully closed his eyes after hearing the report on his sickbed. On April 30, 1998, the George C. Marshall European Center for Security Studies unveiled the first public statue of General Marshall in Europe in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany. Everyone passing by silently remembers this upright and selfless legendary general.